How is it going today, everyone? Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I had a pretty good one myself. I eat a lot of food. Obviously, you can just tell I'm so fat. But anyway, today we'll be looking into the third volume of Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. And unsurprisingly, it's pretty great. It's even better because Marco Giacchetto is now the main artist for this volume. He wasn't in the last volume, which sucked a bit because the last artist wasn't as great as him. But anyway, let's just get into it. The plot lines are basically the same way as the last volume, where there's like three different plot lines for the main three characters: Daredevil, Cold North, and Wilson Fisk. So instead of doing Matthew first, I'm gonna do him last and do Wilson Fisk first because those are a bit easier to get through because obviously Matthew gets the most plot. So let's just get into it. Like we last said, Fisk is now no longer wants to be Wilson Fisk. He wants to be just a mayor now, and he wants to go legitimate. He doesn't want to be a criminal. So he gives up all of his crime stuff and tells all the other crime lords to divvy up the rest of New York and try not to fight each other. Unfortunately, that doesn't end well because remember the last time when I talked about how Daredevil managed to save the people who were like a crime family from getting shot? Well, yeah, that was the Owl. The Owl like owns a bit of New York, and after Fisk decides to not be the kingpin of crime, he's deciding to go and like fight every other gang and try to get as much power as he wants because a guy named Owl, you would think he wants a lot of rats. You see what I did there? Owls and rats? That's smart. But anyway, the Kingpin doesn't like that, so he kidnaps the Owl and tells him, hey, listen, go on this flight and, take a couple weeks off until you get a bit better, because if you don't do that, I'm going to have to kill you. But unfortunately, the Owl calls his bluff and kills a bunch of Wilson Fisk's guy and just says, listen, you're not even the Kingpin anymore. Stop pretending that you own me, that you have any control over me now. I'm not afraid of you anymore. And he dips. Kingpin is pretty upset at that, obviously, but he can't be upset too long because he is also meeting the Stromwyns, who are like these super powerful twins who are like 50 years old, and they basically all own all of New York, but they do it, behind the scenes and stuff like that. So that's pretty scary. But they invite Wilson Fisk over to their house to eat. Fisk is a bit elated at that, so he goes over, and, they talk about his criminal past and stuff like that. Not that they care. And one of their friends is literally just, they're just ripping into Fisk, calling him fat and that he eats so much, and that, all of his businesses are just, like, weird and for, like, poor people because Wilson Fisk didn't grow up rich. And they're just calling him a commoner and whatnot. They're basically just shitting all over him and his life. So obviously that upsets Fisk. So he decides to leave and go to the bathroom to, blow some steam off. Unfortunately, the dude also follows him into the bathroom and just keeps on roasting him alive, like turning him into a giant, turkey man. It's not good. So, Fisk does what the average person would do when, they're being bullied. He fucking kills him. He tears him to shreds and does it without even him realizing it. Obviously, Fisk is a bit afraid of the Stromwyns because they're basically the most powerful people at that table right now. So instead, he calls up his dude, his main man, Wesley, and tells him what happened. And Wesley's just like, okay, just stay there, and we'll just clean it all up. So that's what they do. They get some of the cleaners of the house, and they clean up all the blood. They mop up all of the blood and stuff like that. And then they put the guy into like his car. And then he they crash a car and stuff like that and say that he died from a crash or whatever, or like call it an accident. So yeah, that happened. It's not really going so well for Fisk. Unfortunately, the Stromwyns find out pretty easily, so they call him up again. It's like, yo, Wilson, come up with us. So he does that, and they get some guys, some like these giant freaking guards, and they basically just fucking jumped him. Honestly, they just jumped him with these giant dudes. And they're just like, listen, it's fine that you were mad at him. It's even fine that you killed him, but you did it in our house, and that can't be tolerated. So, as I said, they beat the ever-living shit out of him, and they throw him out the window. But because they like him, as they said before, they still called the ambulance because, Wilson Fisk, he manages to survive. It's probably all that fat that's on him that helps him, take a lot of the damage. Meanwhile, with Detective Cold North, he's getting pretty disillusioned with the whole being a cop thing. And he's ordered to take down Spider-Man, that doesn't work out because it's freaking Spider-Man, and Spider-Man manages to escape from all the cops trying to take him down, and decides to basically kidnap Cole and whip him up to a building, and basically like tells him the whole why it's a good thing to be a vigilantes, and why Daredevil was good, and why it's good to be it's good to have superheroes, and that gets to Cole North's head, so he decides to take a break from the whole thing, and just try to rediscover himself and whatnot. While he's doing that, he gets a visit from Daredevil himself. Daredevil is now much healthier for some reason, and tells Cole that he needs him and that they could team up and stuff like that. Cole doesn't want to at first because it's a vigilante and he doesn't like vigilante, but Daredevil, he's just like, listen, I need you to team up with me. You can't just do this yourself. Hell's Kitchen is going to be like a no-cop zone. It's already a no-cop zone, and we need better guys like you for him. Meanwhile, with Matthew, I'm going to tell you how he got so healthy. So anyway, like last time, he was approached by Electra, and she wants to train him to be better. At first, he doesn't want to do this, but after a situation where he had to save a guy dressing up as Daredevil from cops, basically this guy who dressed up as Daredevil tried to stop a mugging. The cops didn't like that, so they beat the shit out of him and decided to torture him and stuff like that. So Daredevil, with the help of his friend Foggy, managed to get the guy out of there. And, Daredevil decides to beat up on the guys, but he's not doing so well, and they need to run up to top the building. They start fighting it again. The guy who's dressed up as Daredevil nearly falls out of a building. Daredevil catches him, but is getting beaten on really bad until Electra comes and saves him. So he's just like, yeah, I need you to train me. So she does that. She trains him pretty well, actually. He's getting to use his radar sense much better than what he used to do. And, he's getting stronger. He's fighting better. So he decides that I can't just be Daredevil and stop the mugging and the murderers and, low-level stuff. I got to go higher up. So he decides to go to the governor, because he realizes that Hell's Kitchen, for some reason, is a no-cop zone. Like, all the gangs are just there, and, the people can't get any help. So he wants to know why. Electra decides to tag along with him because she's getting really happy that he's being back to where he used to be, strong and tough and stuff like that. So, he sneaks into the governor's house, and he's just like, yo, why are you guys doing this? And the governor's just like flat out said, oh, it's just strong winds. They basically pay me to make Hell's Kitchen a no-cop zone so they could buy it all up and sell it to other people and stuff like that. It's basically that rich people do, where the government makes all the towns really poor and stuff like that, so people move out. And then, the rich people buy it out, all their neighborhoods and stuff like that, and get all the rich people in. I forgot what the word is. It'll come to me later. I'll probably put it up here somewhere. But yeah, they're doing that at a pretty extreme level, if I was going to say so, because, they're super villains in this universe. So after Daredevil gets that information, he managed to drive off, and bangs Electra, because she gets really excited that he's back now, for real this time. So yeah, this was a pretty good volume. I liked it a lot. It's like a 9 out of 10, especially with the art. It's just great. It's just moving the plot along at a pretty good speed. And, you're getting to know these characters more and more. And, I just like this volume. I just like this series, honestly. So next volume coming soon, next week. And so like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you dislike. And I'll see you next time.